And hello everyone, Lights and Gear is back with a new review. I have a battery charger to talk about today. Not very often we get battery chargers around here, but when we do, we are kind of excited to talk about them if they seem to be of reasonable quality. And today's is something rather new, at least to me it is. If any of you are familiar with this brand, well, that's great. I was not, and I'm not even sure of the exact pronunciation, but if I can say Adeaska, I suppose is probably as close to anything as I would imagine. So here we have the Adeaska charger, which is the SQ4 Plus. This is rather a large box because it is rather a large charger. It has 4 bays, if you can see here from the picture, and it does include some pretty nifty features, as most battery chargers today operate under similar procedures. Now this does have a top mA current of 2000, and they'll usually of course split up the bays so that 2 bays will do one particular type of current and 2 bays will do another particular type of current, and that's all explained within the manual. Now this sticker here does cover up a couple of things, but pretty much it does most of what other chargers of this type will do. What it does not do is discharge a battery, but it does have a USB output, so of course you can use it as a power bank for other devices. And like most chargers today, it does cover a whole laundry list of different size batteries, whether they be lithium-ion, LiFePO4, IMR, and IMH, etc. So you can do just about any type of rechargeable battery. Now, if any of you so far think that this kind of box is looking familiar, if you can kind of tell the color scheme and so forth, it does, because it is surprisingly similar to Nitecore boxes. I find that rather interesting. Are they made by the same company? Well, these are made by Sysmax, and this one does not really say, except down here it just says Sengen High-Tech Trade Company. What do they say? Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, so perhaps they've just taken the colors of the Nitecore box and to make their charger look like it was perhaps made by Nitecore. Who knows? But it seems to be of reasonable quality from what I can make out. So anyway, on the back of the box it does talk about some of the features that the unit has, and it does use 3 different charging currents, and so 0.5, 1, and 2 are the 3 different currents, and as you can see right here, it says that it does 2A for channel 1 and 4, and I believe it does the 1A in channels 2 and 3, which obviously makes sense. So anyway, but it does have a lot of good features, and also a 0-volt activation function as well. So without further ado, let me show you the charger, and I have taken things out of the box here to speed things along. First of all, though, we do have the manual, and it is in English but folded in Chinese, and as far as the specifications are concerned, well, you can see that right here with the output voltage, the current, and so forth, which we already talked about a little bit. So here's the charger, and it is of reasonable size, as I say, with 4 bays. It is to date the largest 4-bay charger that I have. Now, if you're noticing this right away, which I noticed as soon as I took it out of the box, mine has scuffs here on the display. And so that is a shame, but it's not terribly noticeable. Hopefully, if you get one of these, I'm sure yours won't have scuffs on the screen. Anyway, that's just happens to be the way mine came. But once the display is on, and the display is pretty bright, I think at least for me, I'm kind of overlooking these. I tried to get them off, but they will not come off. And it did have a protective film over the display as well. So anyway, as you can see, it's got 4 buttons here which denote each individual bay, and it has rather a large AC adapter. So I'll take that out of the box right now, and it actually comes in two parts. Here's the first part of the adapter, which is one of these brick outlets, one of these brick units, I should say, and here's the plug on the end. So personally, I find these a little bit cumbersome and a tad annoying, but I guess for the power it puts out, they find this necessary. It does have an output of 5 amps and 12 volts, so 5 amps is pretty powerful. But anyway, and here's the other end that goes into the back of the charger. And then over here you have basically the standard AC cord. So this plugs into the back, and then of course you'll plug this into the back of the charger, connect it to the back of the unit. By the way, here is the back of the unit, which we haven't looked at yet. There's your USB output, and of course your AC input right there. So connect that up. So as soon as it gets plugged in, there you go. Here's your display. And this display is pretty good. It looks kind of weird when there's nothing going on. But, and it is one of these as well that if you tilt it a little bit, you get that, you know, you sort of see everything that the display, you see all the digits that make up the display. So there is rather a short viewing window, if you will. If you're at an angle, you will start picking up all the other bits and pieces of the display. Let's start with a 26650 battery, the largest type that I have, that I use regularly, lithium of course. So as soon as it goes in, it starts thinking about the battery for a few seconds and then springs into action. Now if you can see what's going on here, it has the current down here, which is 0.5. Now I have put a different 26650 in. I did not adjust the current, and after a few moments it sprang up to 2.0. And this would be one of the bays that use the 2 amps, and that would be the first and the fourth bay, which do use 2 amps when possible. So this charger will more or less select the type of power, the amperage that it feels is appropriate to charge that particular battery with. But I can change that, and if I just press the button here, it will increase. So there I can increase it with the button, and there I've increased it to 2, and of course press it again, so you can toggle back and forth between, I'm just making sure you can see this, you can toggle back and forth between the currents. And of course the bar here is counting up the state of charge. It's 3.55 volts. Here's the impedance, resistance of the battery, and of course here's the accumulated mAh that the battery is receiving, and down here of course you have the amount of time that it's taking to charge the battery, and right here is the battery type, lithium ion, which of course it selects automatically. And if I put a different battery in, we have 4 slots and 4 different types of batteries. Here is an Mh Rechargeable. Thinks about it for a second, it springs into action, and of course it says right here, NIMH, right there, and here again, this is 1.30 volts, etc., etc., etc. And the NIMH always charges at a lower current. If I change that, it's actually not changing, 0.5. So it's not changing at all at the moment. It's remaining at 0.5 for an NIMH. If I put a different battery in, even a smaller battery, here's an 18350, I'm sorry, no, this is not an 18350. This is a 16340, of course. It's an RCR123 16340. And you can see the wideness of these slots. So if you had another 26650, you could certainly put that next to it over here. Or of course, if you wanted higher power potentially on it, you can put it in the fourth bay over here. But the bays are wide enough apart that you can fit large batteries side by side. So over here we have the 16340, and of course it's doing what it's supposed to be doing. There's the lithium ion. It's showing 0.5 on that one, but I can put that one up to 1 amp if I want. However, these types of batteries are usually better at a lower current. So 0.5 is good for them. And again, here is showing your volts and so forth. So I think you get an idea of what's going on here with the charger. And we had the final battery here as an 18650, and that'll obviously do the same thing as everything else has. Thinks about it for a few seconds, and then it begins. And there you go down here. Lithium ion is flashing, and it will of course select its own current. It's starting at 0.5, which is a little bit low. I can bump that up if I so desire. Being the fourth slot, it will go up to 2.0. And as I said before, I think this charger, it appears to select its own current. These have all started at 0.5. In fact, way over here on the 26650, it is still at 0.5 at the moment. And the other thing that this unit does, as you can see, of course, this is counting, so when they get to the top, they will remain constant, and in the Mh display up here, it will say full. So that is what's displayed up here as it finishes. And the voltage will actually have the nominal voltage for a lithium ion of 4.2. It will not actually show you, like many chargers do, it will not show you if it puts in 4.16 or 4.17. It sort of defaults to a nominal voltage of 4.2. And here's something else you can do with the charger as well. Because it uses the USB to, as a power bank to charge other items, you can have it unplugged like this with the screen black, and then put a battery in, as long as it's a lithium-ion battery, that is. You can't do it with an NIMH, but with a lithium-ion, you can put it in any slot, and it'll automatically pop up and let you know the status of that particular battery. So that's something you can do just on the fly if you need to know the status of a battery and so forth. So in this particular case, this one is charged, so it's giving you the full bars. So I think anything else I have here at the moment for a testing purpose is probably going to show full bars as well. So if it were obviously less, it would show either 1, 2, 3, or 4 or something. So it doesn't, as you can see, it doesn't give you any voltage or anything. It just shows you the bars. So that's just like a quick thing you can check anytime, even when the machine is just sitting idle. Anyway, that's the operation of it. You can see how it works. It does not have a discharge function. It just has a charging function, as you can see, but it seems to be able to do what it does with pretty good accuracy, and at least it affords you the ability to put the 4 batteries of various sizes next to each other and use large batteries such as a 26650. Now, as you can see, after a few minutes, the display starts to dim, and that's as dim as it does go. But if you want to liven it up again, just press the button and it'll get bright again. So basically that's it. That is the Adeaska SQ4 Plus charger, which can handle all types of batteries. Whether or not it's an offspring of a Nitecore, we're not quite sure of that. Is not made by the Sysmax company, but it does come in the same kind of box as a Nitecore would. But I think it's a reasonably good charger. It was supplied to me by the folks at Banggood. You can pick one up at their website. The link is below within the description, and you can also read a little bit more about it if you wish on my website, where I have the review there. And I put the Banggood link there as well if you'd like to buy one of these chargers for yourself. Anyway, I do thank you for watching. Hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, let me know. We'll see you next time with more from Lights and Gear. Take care and have a good one.